Good. Good. I'd like to open this meeting of the November 14th HPB meeting at 5:30 on 2022. Do I have a motion to open the meeting?
I so move.
Okay, second.
I'll second.
In there.
Member Searle?
Yes.
Member Evans?
Yes.
Member Olson?
Yes.
Chair Pollak?
Yes,
Motion passes.
thank you. Does anybody need to recuse themselves as a result of the items on the agenda this evening? Any?
I do not.
I do not.
I do not. I will say that my former neighbor is on the agenda, but
Okay, all right. But you feel you can still?
I do. It's an
Okay.
in-kind replacement.
Okay, very good. We have a tentative agenda in front of us, as well as minutes to review at the very end. I'd like to start out with number 1 for Shane Place. Signage?
Yes.
Okay,
Good evening, members of the board.
there you go.
Thanks for coming back.
Yeah, this is you.
Tis I.
Okay,
I'm Denise Darling, once again representing the Darling Aesthetics.
okay,
We're here hoping we can get our application for signage approved this evening. We received approval from the village board
Okay.
to do her business here at Shone Place
okay.
back on Thursday. So it's a full steam ahead.
Congratulations.
Thank you, we're very excited. Thank you.
And just a bit of clarification when we
Yes, sir.
start. There is some artwork in here which shows 2 signs, but Steve assures me that it's just the one sign by
It
the
is.
side of the door.
That is correct.
Addressing here.
That is correct.
Okay,
So it's not
So
the top
not
sign?
the top one.
Not the top one. We were, the sign
Experimenting, I
people
felt-
were doing
I thought that, yeah.
several signs.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I'm too old to climb on a ladder to get measurements from the building. I couldn't find someone to do it, so I told her she needed to settle for the sign by the door, and she was very happy with that.
Yeah.
So,
And I see from an earlier picture, it's very much like another sign that was there for another business before.
that was noted during the last meeting, that there was a previous sign in the same location.
Yeah.
I was given great instruction as to what you were looking for.
Yeah.
So I'm really hoping that this
Okay,
will do well for us both.
okay, good.
And there's no light fixture proposed for lighting the sign.
There is none, no.
That's what I remembered from last month, and I just wanted to verify that. I appreciate the effort in making the drawing.
It was an effort. I haven't done that in a long time. But the trusty tape measure and,
Yeah.
it came in, so I hope it was
Tape
all
measure and
right.
graph paper can take you a long way.
There we go.
Now, if you ever need any other tips, you can count, if you measure the reveal on one clapboard or one brick course, you can count for a
A
height.
little tip.
There you go. Okay, that's a good
I can
one.
tell you how many times they have.
So we have other comments? Jenny, anything more?
No, I think this is a great solution, and it addresses the concerns that we had at our last meeting.
I agree with Virginia.
And I agree as well.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve the application for the sign at 4 Shane Place as submitted at this meeting of the Historic Preservation Board on Monday, November 14th.
I second that.
Member Searle?
Yes,
Member Evans?
Yes.
Member Olson?
Yes.
Chair Pollak?
Yes.
Motion passes. May I have findings of facts, please?
The findings of facts is that this sign adheres to the design considerations or design guidelines as listed on page 103.
Removable, reversible,
It's reversible as well.
no substantial impact on the resource.
I'm sorry?
No
no,
substantial.
no negative impact on the
On the,
resource.
yeah.
Thank you so much.
I thank you very, very much.
Good job.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, great. Next, we have 9 West Jefferson Road, window.
Hey, Adam.
Hello, everyone.
Okay,
Yeah,
we have some detail here.
we are back, yes.
Yes.
with the requested details, yes.
Okay.
I appreciate the effort to make the change here.
Sure. Oh, yeah,
I hope it
absolutely.
doesn't make your shower too dark.
No.
We are going to have some lights in there.
Well, you can't always wash by feel, but it's a little easier to rub on your ankles to get it if you can see.
But this is very, very clear.
Yes.
Oh, great.
Very, very
Okay.
helpful.
I appreciate the quality of the document that you have provided for us.
Well worth it. Yeah. Since we've been over most of this ground before, discussion?
No, this was very clear.
Yeah. Dan?
We had no issue with the style of the window on this house. Anyone else on this board have any issues with the proposed style of the window?
Okay.
I'm just opening that up for discussion.
Well, we discussed that last meeting. I think it's all right. This is an existing window,
It is.
correct?
Yes.
So it's compatible with an adjacent window
Mhm.
because of the location on the interior. Well, I would never in a million years put a window in a bathroom. It's up to you.
But it's high, Karen.
It's a.
Well,
I love a high window in the bathroom, just to counter that.
Well, that-
Shower, it's hot. That's great.
That just makes it easier for the water to collect and you can't see what it's doing. I have no issues. I'll make a motion
Barely visible from the
to
street.
approve this application as presented unless someone else has any
No, I'll second.
considerations.
Okay, second by Kendra.
Member Searle,
Yes.
Member Evans,
Yes.
Member Olson,
Yes.
Chair Pollak,
Yes.
motion passes. Findings of facts, please.
Well, I can go through this. It does meet the guidelines for placement of windows in new construction under the design guidelines. Right?
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Everyone have a good evening.
Okay, very good.
Thanks again for your efforts.
Yeah.
Of course, absolutely, thank
We
you.
appreciate your understanding with our goals.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm sure I'll see you guys again.
Good.
Okay, thanks. 23, Fountain. Fence? Where's Chris when we need him? Fence.
He loves fences. He loves fences.
Yeah. Welcome.
Thank you. Hello?
We have a diagram of your, fence placement property. You want to tell us a little bit about it, or just,
Well, the fence has been there for about 40 years, and this September, a huge maple tree in the backyard, half of it came crashing down. We took out the fence in the back. The rest of the fence on the side has been rotting, and I've had some pickets replaced. I've had it reinforced, it's moving too, so I want to replace the whole thing to match.
okay.
And I've submitted, as you see, all the paperwork and a picture of it and the site map.
And I did, just for the committee, I asked Steve about its forward placement, and it's adjacent to the front of the house.
Yes,
It stops there, yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
And I've spoken with my neighbor, and we did the survey and everything, and it's all good.
Steve,
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I will ask the applicant first. Is it your intent that the fence is going to be 6 feet high in all locations?
Yes,
Steve, does that, it was my understanding that within the front setback, a fence could only be 3 feet high.
Yeah, it's 6 foot from the front of the house back. It's not 6 foot, that's it. There's no 6 foot in front of the front line of the house.
You're not changing the pickets in the
No.
front on that side yard, right?
No.
No, this is
Could
all.
you refresh my
Yeah.
memory on
Right.
the code dimension for front yard?
Front yard can only be 3 foot tall.
I know that. What is the definition of front yard?
It's the front line of the house itself.
I
which is
thought
where
front
it's existing.
I thought front setbacks were something different than that.
No, it's the front line of the house for the 6-foot fence.
And this is existing.
Which would include the porch as part of the
Anything in
house?
the front of the house, and after the front of the house is
No, this
considered
is
front
the
yard. Anything
Yeah,
from the front line of the house back is considered side or backyard. Setback refers to setback refers to sidewalk or roadway.
I understand that, but it was my sort of perception of the ordinance that the requirement was front yard, not in line with the front of the house. And I recognize it's not our business, but I am concerned about meeting the requirement.
You're not doing anything with the little white fence?
That's the separate permit Steve already gave me.
Okay.
I don't have that, I don't have that.
We've had many fences.
But is
in the
that
village that are
white
related
fence
to the
stay in the same style?
Same
Nice.
exactly.
Front corner of the house.
And then
where
this
the 6-foot
fence
starts
that I
back.
put up is already. it's gonna go where-
Okay, if it doesn't meet,
Where
if
the existing.
it doesn't meet zoning, it's not my issue. Except that I would hate to see the applicant have to do something different after she bought. My concern is that you not buy 6 feet of fence if you're only allowed to have 3 feet.
No, it's going to be 6 feet from
Well,
the line of the front of the house,
Okay.
not including the porch,
okay,
where it is already existing.
okay, my,
Just replacing it as is. I mean,
I would make a motion that we approve this because it's an in-kind replacement. So, I mean, I don't need to stifle discussion, but it is in-kind.
Okay.
That's not changing.
All right,
I don't have an issue with fence at all.
okay.
So I'd like to make a motion that we approve the application for the fence at 23 Boughton as presented.
Oh, sorry. I'll second that motion.
Okay.
Maybe I won't see time, but I should.
Member Searle,
Yes,
Member Evans,
Yes.
Member Olson,
Yes.
Chair Pollak,
Yes,
motion
thank
passes.
you.
Findings of fact, please.
Well, I think Steve will us help too. I've been with you, Dennis, talking to him.
Thank you,
meets,
Steve.
finding the facts that it meets the fencing guidelines based on the design, or based on the design guidelines. I don't know what page it's on, but yeah,
It's an in-kind
Specific,
replacement,
yeah.
existing fence.
right, it's a better way to put it.
Thank you. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Thanks a lot.
It's not necessarily in-kind replacement, is it sort of an in-place replacement, in-place replacement? It's a different style fence, isn't it?
I think the only thing that's different is that it's dog-eared.
So it's a metal.
So it's a
So it's an,
replacement.
yeah, it's an in-place, so it's going in where the exact same,
Okay,
glass fence was in.
Yeah.
I just want the record be messed up because it's really not exactly in-kind.
So
But
the
it's
fence is in
considered
the,
in-kind.
the fence is in the exact location, so wood fence,
yeah.
And height.
same, okay.
It is replacing an existing
Mhm.
wood fence of the same height.
Next, we have 27th South Main.
37.
37.
Boy, this,
You're right next to the Pittsburgh Forest.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Same building.
Saw that, yeah.
that space has changed hands a couple of times recently.
Based on Google Images as well, that's where I kind of got there was 2 companies, the acupuncture sign was hanging, and then I can't remember who it was above it, so we were hoping to in-kind replace those 2 examples, but there's nothing up there right now, so.
Yeah.
Well, that kind of goes off the comment that I just made using the word in-kind. So this isn't necessarily an in-kind replacement, but you're.
You know what I mean, like, it's not technically, but we're trying to go for the same,
It's where the other side was.
exactly.
So this is, again, there's no supplemental light, this is,
No lighting, no,
Okay.
just sign
Right.
in place.
Can you please state your name?
Grant Livermore,
Are you the business owner?
I am co-owner. Mrs. Marner couldn't be here tonight.
I think the top sign is great, Alpha Performance Center. That's obviously your guys' business name, and you guys are a performance center. The physical therapy, golf simulator, and recovery is most likely overkill for a sign in our village.
Okay,
looking at it and reading through the design guidelines and what's allowed, the secondary signage, I wouldn't vote for that, but I'd be happy about this Alpha Performance Center as the main and only sign.
On the grounds that it's too wordy, like it's too much
Yeah,
information?
I think it's page
Yeah,
102. I can read through it on page 102.
First of all, we got to see if it's permitted by the sign code.
Okay,
They hang,
Yeah,
it hangs below.
correct.
whether that's permitted.
Well, I could
I think it's just a question of size.
be mistaken, but the code enforcement official has checked off that everything is fine for this.
So you want me to read
That's
it?
a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
That's a question of.
Because there's a-
appropriate.
Yeah.
Hingham.
So obviously, signs in the village business district should be sized to the pedestrian, not to the automobile, which this is, and should convey only the essential message and not display excessive advertising. Essential messages include the name of a business, which is Alpha, and a brief descriptor, such as realty, accountant, men's clothing, which yours is Performance Center. Information such as hours of operation, types of merchandise best displayed in less prominent locations, such as a storefront window. Or I would add on to that, one of those little plastic signs,
Okay.
A-frame signs that would say PT, golf simulator, recovery, and maybe, and then your hours.
So
of
you're saying
operation.
that bottom sign on an A-frame would be more?
We're not allowed to do A-frames.
Freestanding
A-frames?
signs, no, those are not allowed.
Yeah,
Well,
not allowed.
I've seen them out there.
Yeah, they should be out there.
Those are,
All I'm saying is, I do not believe those are allowed. I mean, you're
Okay.
suggesting something that I don't believe is allowed. It may be a temporary sign that you can put out there, and Steve would be the one to,
For flood.
Give you-
control
Oh,
or
yeah,
something, but-
temporary.
as a former business owner on Main Street, you can't put out an A-frame, only if it's a special temporary sign with its own permit for an event, but to actually have that out there long-term, it
Then I
can't
take that back,
happen.
Okay.
and I'll keep with what it says here, such as a storefront window.
Okay.
But that's my comments on the general overview of the
makes
sign.
sense.
I think I would respectfully disagree with that. I think I actually really like the descriptor so that we know what it is. I think it would help attract people to the business. Performance Center initially probably would have made me take my theater child to you.
Okay.
It wasn't.
Steve, does that little hanging thing fall within the permitted area of the sign? The second signage, the physical therapy, golf
Yes.
simulator.
Well, it says,
this, Steve,
You mean doing the math to fit the square footage?
All that one or two signs, that's kind of an interesting thing. If it was all one sign, I don't know if you consider it two signs, because technically you can't have two signs on the same elevation.
Right.
you're the
So
decider.
I'm asking you if this whole area meets the area permitted
Yes,
for a sign.
It does.
yeah.
Yes.
Square footage wise, he's well within the,
But including this little gap here, right?
yes.
Okay.
because that measurement's not included unless I'm missing it.
Which measurement, sorry?
The total, because it doesn't have the, I mean, I see the
Yeah, the
the
sign's
gap
like,
in between isn't measured to see whether or not it's actually.
the upper sign is like 1.25 square feet. And the linear feet is like 6.4 feet, something like that.
Well, I was talking vertical, not
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
horizontal.
My
Horizontally,
interpretation of the diagrams we got from the sign company that came out and took the measurements was that main sign, the Alpha Performance Center sign, would be at the bottom of the fascia of the siding, and then the hanging sign would be, there's hooks that are existing there that would go there. So I don't exactly know what that is, but I'm guessing 1 inch, maybe 2 at the most.
I'm sorry, are you Grant or Tom?
I'm Grant, sorry.
So this section is going to hang,
Correct.
like chains or,
Yeah, secured,
Simple hook, yeah.
simple, secure, windproof. I don't want that thing flying off, so. No one should be able to hit it with their head unless they are 7 feet tall.
Okay. It's a tough one. It's,
I understand the point about descriptor. But I agree with Kendra, Performance Center I mean, I'm more likely to think somebody's up there giving concerts. Because I don't
We will
care
not be
about
doing
my,
that.
care about my golf simulator performance. But I think this is still, this information, I think, is important to the business. I don't think I think the extraneous information is more like 50% off.
I did a click in when I read it too.
As well, and it seems to me that
Alphas.
physical therapy and recovery, now golf simulator, again, I don't care about golf. So-
Yeah, you either do or you don't,
So that
so,
that doesn't matter to me. I could do with physical therapy and recovery because I see that as a public good. And I don't care about the golf.
Okay, fair enough.
All right.
But I think without any descriptor at all, I think it could easily be mistaken for something else.
Yeah. Performance center. Yeah, lots of different performance.
Well,
Okay.
Yes.
All right, any other thoughts? Words of wisdom? No? Do we have a proposal for this submission?
I'll make a motion to approve this application as submitted.
I'll second.
Okay.
Member Searle?
Yes.
Member Evans?
Yes.
Member Olson?
No.
Chair Pollak?
Yes.
Motion passes. Findings of fact, please.
Needs to
The
design.
sign meets the requirements of the village sign ordinance and the historic preservation standards in our guidelines. It's removable, it's reversible, it doesn't present any negative impact to the resource.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you very, nice to meet you, everyone.
Okay. thank
Best
you.
of luck.
Good luck with the golf simulator.
Yeah.
What's funny,
Jenny's gonna be your first customer.
what's funny is I'll go, she won't. I'll go, I'll be there. You won't.
I'll check that.
Although I think my husband has already
Okay.
given golf clubs to my girls.
Retirement.
That is what
No.
it said.
Uh-oh.
Every
New
joint,
clubs?
no, every joint is too arthritic.
Well, I didn't say it wasn't forced. Could be a forced or unforced. In this case, it's
Okay.
body saying.
Okay, we need to move on to 74 North Main Street. Window replacement.
Dr. Scott? Hey, how are you?
I'm all, how are you?
Good night.
And before we start on this, we all have copies of Steve Jordan's letter
Yes.
in our possession.
Thank you for providing that.
No,
Yeah.
You retained him yourself?
I'm sorry?
Did you retain him yourself?
Yes.
Okay,
Actually, I live in East Avenue, right, very close to French Road.
Uh-huh.
And actually, I used Steve 2 years ago. He fixed all the windows in my house.
Wow.
But then I make the investment, that's why when I bought this property, I called him right away.
Uh-huh.
And he came over and,
That's great.
yeah.
Oh, very good. Okay. So tell us about your project then.
Well, actually, the house, the plan is to do a whole remodelation of the house, inside and out. And part of the issue has been with the window, that's why we called Steve and came take a look. And, part of the project has been do the right thing. Then we find out that he explained that later, that the cost and try to make it work, it's no way it can be done.
Yeah.
And by doing the right thing, keeping them and not touching them, trying
No,
to
actually,
repair them?
no, we plan to replace them.
Well, you said, doing the right thing would have been to
Oh, yeah, for me, the right thing.
restore them.
Yeah, restore them, yes. For me, that
Okay.
was my main goal.
Mhm.
But when he came and he took a look,
Okay.
So you've indicated 2 windows, an A and a B. Is just 2, or does that 2 different
I
styles?
think those are window
two different
types.
styles. Well, we plan to replace all the
All the
windows.
windows.
All the windows in the house, yeah.
Oh, really? I thought it was just the A and the B.
I thought it was two.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Okay, good.
No, we were
It's my
in,
understanding that it's two different window types.
yes,
Yeah.
These are
Right,
6/6, these are 1/1.
Correct.
Am I
Okay.
correct?
we are planning to replace all the windows in the house.
Oh, okay.
Because I see 6/6, and you've got it looks like 8/1 for B. Just,
Yeah. There's so many,
It's a change of the style.
just double checking that. And then the first floor windows seem to be just single pane 1/1.
yes, and we have one is 9 panels, and the other one is,
Okay,
yes.
okay. All right. Oh, so these are, so this whole house is being,
Yes.
okay. Got it.
I think that's drawing with the dimension, east, west, south, and north.
Yes,
So that's
got
what
that. Yeah.
it's doing.
It's so curious to me that the first floor windows are 1/1 and the second floor windows are 6/6. It's just an unusual combination. It's not unusual for first floor and second floor windows to be different,
Yes.
but it's usually the case that the first floor windows are fancier.
Okay,
And I would
yes,
consider 6/6 fancier.
yeah. No,
I mean, they're
definitely.
not fancier, but it's an older window style.
Okay.
So just to be clear, from the application, you have windows marked on each elevation. Those are the new sizes that are going in, and they replace the sizes that they're replacing.
Yeah, they'll be replacing the same size, same style everywhere.
So where you indicated a different size, like 24/40, 8, or whatever that dimension is, that's going to be the dimension of the window.
Yes.
So the dimensions change throughout.
I believe the applicant stated that the windows were going to be the same size. You're not changing the
Right.
size of the opening, are you?
No, we don't change that.
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, my point is that there are different size openings.
Oh, yes.
And they're labeled on the application.
Yes, and they're also visible in the photograph.
Okay, it's not changing any
No,
framing dimensions.
I'm just
The A and B is,
clarifying.
A and B is purely the two styles of windows,
Yeah.
not the size.
Yeah, I got that now.
My-
Styles, not sizes. That's correct.
Right.
The point of my clarification was that we can rely on the dimensions on the drawings for what's there and what's going in.
I think this may have been the point of confusion. This is circled.
That's
and-
true,
and
maybe.
this is
Yeah,
a
okay.
6/1.
12, this upper sash is
Crazy,
12
yeah.
lights,
Yeah,
and you're only going to have 6 lights.
Yeah.
Is that correct? The grill pattern will be the same?
Yes.
Okay.
okay. All right.
I'm sorry, I'm not, because it seems like the application is saying that we're doing the 12/1.
The drawings all show either
6/6.
only 6 lights in each of them.
Yes, but that drawing, it doesn't match up with the exhibit. Let me find it in the packet.
The circle.
It doesn't match up with the circle, so I want to make sure that when we approve it, like, we have
Yeah.
clarity over which way we're going to go.
That's why I just asked the question.
Yeah,
You got to
That's this one right here.
in the motion that they match the brick pattern to the existing window.
And the comment to the right of it does say grilled on top and bottom. Although
It
it's.
does
I also
say that,
took
but it
that
also
wrong.
is not the same
Yeah,
number
yeah.
of lights
Yeah,
as what,
it's interesting, they don't have that style in this illustration.
Only the customer approval form.
Yeah.
That's presented about 3 or 4 pages prior
Yes.
has the window
All right.
that's accurate.
No, yeah,
what page number is that, Dan?
It's
I wonder if
this.
I messed up
It
mine,
looks
there it
like-
is.
It looks
sorry.
like this.
This stuff. Yeah, I found it now, thank you.
okay. Any further discussion?
I appreciate that the applicant has, on his own volition, contacted a window expert for the evaluation of the condition of the existing windows. Had you not done that, that's something that this board would have required and the village would have paid for,
Okay,
had you asked.
okay. Thank you.
I don't know if you can retroactively submit your bill for the inspection.
No, that's okay. Well, I'm part of the village, that's no problem.
You have to thank Jeff for that, because actually I was caught today, you mentioned it when you were in today. I ended up talking to Jeff called me about it, and I ended up calling the applicant, he goes, oh, I did have him done. I was like, thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I basically been telling him not to come tonight
Right.
until he had an evaluation.
Yeah.
And he was able to provide
Right
it
here.
today, so.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
okay. All right,
I'm prepared to make a motion if anybody's ready.
let's go ahead.
I'd like to approve the application as presented with the following clarifications. All the windows, let me digress. The second-story windows have a different light configuration than the first-story windows. Second-story windows all appear to be 6/6. First-floor windows all appear to be 1/1. The applicant will be replacing the windows to match the existing light patterns. 6/6, second floor, 1/1 on the first floor. Also, as part of the motion, I want to indicate that an expert opinion on the condition of the windows was presented with the application.
Condition of the original windows.
The condition of the original windows.
Yeah, good. Okay, we have a second?
I'll second.
Member Olson,
Yes.
Member Searle,
Yes.
Member Evans,
Yes.
Chair Polley,
Yes.
motion passes.
Okay,
Findings of fact, please.
the existing windows have been evaluated by Steve, an expert, Steve Jordan, and found to be not easily repairable.
I think a better phrase is not
Not
worthy, not worthy of repair.
Not worthy of replacement.
Repair.
Not worthy of replacement, not
repair,
repair.
forget replacement.
Yeah.
And that the style 6/6 and 1/1 are replaced. It meets our Windows guidelines from design standards. Okay, thanks.
Thank you so much. Have a good night,
Okay,
everyone. Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving.
Right. Thank you. Okay.
I don't feel necessarily that it doesn't represent the major
Now we have 31. About
negative effects, and window replacement is something that's.
Pick the right windows.
So we say this is information only, so we
Yes, I knew,
just to learn all about it.
well, it's a larger project.
But
I figured, I know that it's in the historical district in the village, and therefore I wanted to make sure that I directed the architect to come up with the final details that would be approvable
Good for you.
by the board.
Yep.
Got my chops doing historic rehab. Told the owner, I said, no, this isn't happening in 1 month. You go, you get your information, you find out what everybody wants, and then
Okay,
we'll go for approval. So I'm actually signed up for next month as well.
okay, very good. And this renovation is really moving, like I noticed the kitchen is on the second floor now.
No,
Is
that's
that-
not accurate. So what's going on is they've moved into the house, or they've bought the house, they're currently out of the country for a year. There's a single-story addition that was added to the house that's deficient. They originally asked me to come and take and evaluate, can you put a second floor in this? And I said, no, I can't, because there's not a good foundation under it. There's no way that you ever get that approved. So we went through a number of budgeting scenarios. We came up with one that says, I said, easiest thing to get past would be to put something in the same footprint that you already have. Chances are that'll fly. You're not expanding, you're not crowding anything in terms of the village. And it worked best for them in terms of budget. So We're going to tear off the single-story addition at the back of the house. We're going to construct a two-story addition, maintaining the main ridge line. Now, I understand that typically historic preservation boards prefer to see some distinction between the original and the new.
Which ridge line are you speaking of? This one?
Correct, that one. And the reason,
Cross gable here
that's correct.
will be extended, and so the addition will not come all the way over to this plane.
I have a set of drawings here, if I could,
Hoping.
and I will show you what we want to do in terms of those elevations.
Thank you for your drawing.
Sure.
Is that okay?
Yeah, just don't cover the speaker, please.
Thank you. Right.
Got it.
That one makes it a lot easier to hear when you're transcribing, when the pages
Oh, the whole
are.
thing, I can barely hear anything. so.
I apologize.
No, it's not you, it's the room.
So here's looking from the north side. The ridge line matches up here, 2 stories. But if you look over on the south side, there'll actually be, we're duplicating this. And this will be actually a giant cricket, so we don't end up with a valley. So from the ridge down to this point here will all be pitched, so we don't shed snow and water and all that other kind of stuff.
The area that is unhatched there above your little cricket that you're showing, is that a continuous roof line?
It's probably an inaccuracy, and I'll get the architect to clarify it. This is the original roof line, that is correct.
Right.
But we'd end up re-shingle this, and I'd actually have to, so if you can imagine this is the roof, I'm gonna have to build this up all the way to the ridge to get that.
Okay, I'm just, because I'm an architect, and that sort of 2 pitches coming together is not.
No, it's.
Not a preferred solution.
So like I
So
say, this
how
is.
is that slope on the hatched area that you're showing there? What is that slope?
So
And is
this.
it going to be enough to drain, and what's going to happen?
So this, let's see, how can I draw that in section?
I'm going to come around and look at the drawing.
From the ridge, this is going to pitch downward
Right.
all the way to this point here.
But the slope is going to change right at this point, is that correct?
No, it's not, that's not
Okay,
correct.
that's what I asked.
I'm going to, from this ridge line, I'm going to build a continuous slope
Yes, okay,
down to this point, so the whole thing will pitch.
right. And what's going to happen right here?
Nice day. Sorry.
Gutter?
Is
water
this roof ending up in contact with this? Do you have a roof plan?
I don't, but
Okay.
I'll get that drawn.
Well, I'm just wondering, where is this point? Is it at this face, or is it someplace farther back in the plane? And how are you going to get water off of there? You need to ask your architect.
Mhm.
How is water? Because even if this is a continuous slope, these 2 slopes are
Sure.
already pitching there. And
There'll be a lot of water. I understand what you're
there will
saying.
be a lot of water, and if you need something there, the stormwater collection system needs to be sufficient to carry all this, and you're going to need a gutter and you're going to need I'm going to say conductor head,
Yeah,
a conductor head,
yeah.
and a downspout down there.
And it's, yeah, I would say that's probably what's going to have to happen.
I don't know how else you're going to
Yeah,
get
no,
rid of
no.
that.
It makes sense to do that.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I don't necessarily care about the visual aspects of it.
Mhm. But
But because I'm an architect and this is an historic building in our village, I'm going to tell you something that I think would be detrimental
Sure.
to the building, which is not addressing that.
It's similar to the addition that we did on Boughton, and it's nothing but an ice dam. So, yes, please listen to Ginny on this.
So, no, that's a good suggestion, no problem, consider it done. I'll get it on the drawings for next
Yeah.
time. The other thing that Steve actually had brought up was the issue of this ridge, and that you'd like to see this addition have a distinction. One of the things that I'm doing in here, all the ceilings on the second floor are about 6'6". They're really short. The doors are short. So what they've asked me to do is on the interior of the house, is really to open this all up. I'm furring down the 2x4 rafters with an additional 2x3, and then we're spray foaming everything, so the whole second floor will all be cathedral.
Mhm.
But if I was to be requested to drop this, it's going to cause a problem in terms of ceiling heights inside this area. So what I would propose to make a distinction between the existing house that's original and the addition is to set this back by 3 inches right here
Mhm.
on both corners. So it would drive, so there'd be a change in light, you'd
A
see
plane. There's
a change in
the
plane there.
Yeah.
That
Because
would
this is really, this makes the house look backwards.
Subordinate.
Right.
This makes the
Well,
house
it's
look
not-
backwards, because this is the front of the house.
Yes.
And this is making it look like that's becoming the front of the house, especially with this right here. This is the rear.
Well,
Well, what's interesting
So
about this property
what I would like to see is some sort of change in elevation, but I mean, is 3 inches enough to make it look like the rear of the house from when you're driving down Boughton this way and looking at that?
well, you're not driving
elevation?
down Boughton this way. This is the back, this is the back, this is.
No, I'm saying driving down Boughton this way. You come down this way.
No, this is Boughton is out here, is out in the front. This is the view from Boughton.
Yeah, I know, that's what I'm saying. As you're driving down Boughton this way,
Oh, okay,
across
so-
the house this
got
way,
it,
and your
I
eyes
understand.
are seeing this side as you're going down that way. The house, all with this elevation and in a flat roof line would make the house look like it's facing backwards.
In my opinion, it would just look like the house is longer, and I'm proposing that there'll be a visual plane step at this point to say this was addition, it's not continuous, the siding doesn't run continuous, there's gonna be a corner board here, there's gonna be a corner board here. To define this as an addition. Just because to drop this down, I can't get
It
ceiling
won't
heights
be
right.
livable. It won't be livable,
No.
fit in that house.
One thing I want to mention real quick before I forget, because it was brought up to my attention, you're putting in a rear door here, there's got to be a light, and that has to be presented, or when you do this in a final version, you have to show the light through the board.
Okay,
And the planning board's going to ask you about that too, to make sure it meets code.
you're talking about a sconce or a,
All of it, the placement, the sconce.
Placement, and you can't be over 75 watts.
okay. Do you prefer an overhead light or a sconce?
Just has to be historically relevant, it can't spill over onto neighboring property.
But say I put it in the ceiling of this little roof structure over here.
There's not going to be a lot of room in there then.
Yeah, it could be in the ceiling or next to the.
Well, this is a small overhead.
Yeah.
So there'd just be, if I recess the light in here, that just kind of,
Yep,
Shed.
illuminated right there. Yeah.
I mean, it'd be inconspicuous.
And what threw me on this is the way these two were labeled. This is second floor. I think it's just these maybe need to be switched.
Yes, and yes.
That's what threw me. I thought, gee, that's an interesting layout. for-
No, that's first.
Yeah.
This is second. I
Trying
apologize.
to keep it as clean as we can here.
Well, there's also, I shoot up my architect, I said, so where's all he's numbered all the demolition codes. I said, so why isn't that the drawing? He said, I'll get that next time around.
Okay.
Anyway, we'll get it corrected, but thank you for pointing that out.
Yeah.
Um,
Anybody else here? Or what-
Well,
And then we have to approve the demolition of this too, this board?
Yes.
okay,
Yes, but we should not, and I don't know if it's codified or not, we should not approve demolition until we have, I don't know that we need to have final drawings
Yeah, so-
of what's going to replace it.
Certainly.
So it's two actions for us, demolition
Mhm.
and the new building.
So this is always a bit of a push me, pull you kind of thing. In some cases, he's doing it all, but many times people will not want to hire the architect to create the new thing before they know.
They can tear down the old thing.
Mhm.
So the way we've handled that in the past is to approve the demolition and not issue any, but there will be no demolition permits issued until the new replacement is approved.
We did that in August, didn't we?
It's a condition of a
Yeah.
demolition approval.
Right.
The house was, much newer, it's different.
I mean,
But this is the demolition of an add-on that,
it's a deficient add-on, it doesn't have adequate foundations, the floor is pitched in it. I mean, it's not in good shape. I mean,
There is also an issue that if it's just on its own merits, something that should be demolished, or could be demolished, then you don't need to approve the replacement structure. But
to me, it's similar to the windows that we just went through. Like, it's not worthy of repair, this add-on.
I can
I've
tell you,
read everything.
there's a double hung window laying on its side that they're calling a slider. I mean,
Wow,
I've seen that,
yeah, I'm just saying it's wrong.
yeah,
yeah.
It's just wrong.
wow.
But
I'm
in this
wondering if
case,
that was
really,
a
it's
back
moot
porch.
because
It
That wasn't-
probably was.
That was, if the floor slopes and the windows are just piecemealed in there, it could have been an open porch that's been enclosed.
anyway, so it doesn't seem all that pertinent to this because he's got everything done anyway.
Yeah. Do you think you have what you need, or you?
Well, so the only other question I just wanted to present was windows. We did have the windows reviewed by a gentleman, last name is Blake. Looked at it. Yeah, Blake Held, yep. We are putting new storms on all the existing houses. The only windows, we have these slatted glass windows up here that they want to replace with casement.
They're jealousy windows, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, jealousy.
Yeah,
Yeah. Those are terrible.
Yeah.
yeah, so.
You
Gone.
might as well just leave the screens on.
Yeah, just leave
So
the house open.
those two will become casements, because in that configuration, I can't
Yes.
get a double hung that's worth anything.
No, it's,
So there'll be a
that's fine.
wood casement window.
Yeah.
Probably vinyl clad on the outside, I hope that's okay. If you tell me that it's not,
What's
then I'll
the
just make it
siding
wood
on the
through and
house
through.
now? What's the siding on the house?
It's cedar.
I thought I read something in Blake's report that it wouldn't be vinyl, but it would be composite or wood.
They are wood windows, but they have a cladding on the exterior. If for those two windows you say, no, we won't accept cladding, that's just the information I'm looking for.
Okay.
Because then I'll just get a straight up wood.
Yeah, Blake is
Yeah.
the art, Blake is.
Wood
the
window.
architect for
No,
it.
I know, but I'm talking about
Yeah.
window
So
replacement.
that's what I'm asking. Is that, which you prefer? You just want to just plain old straight up wood?
That's what we always.
That's preferred.
Very good.
Yes.
I mean, the owners are interested in maintaining the historic character of the house.
So, there we go.
It's part of, it's,
Why they live in the village.
What are the current windows clad with?
they aren't.
Wood.
Oh, I thought you said it was.
Yeah, they're just.
No, but
The
then,
siding is wood and the windows and the trim are all wood.
but one of their concerns is the energy efficiency of the house, which is always hard to get out of an old dwelling. So again, we're going with wood windows in the back, but the intention is for them to be clad. Is that acceptable for the addition? They're not replacements, this is just, and if I believe that Morris Sashendor once did a presentation to you folks about these Anderson wood rights, double hungs.
I don't,
I may have that story
they
wrong.
may have before I've been on the board, but I've been on the board longer than anybody else.
Right.
Okay.
So.
Yeah.
Not
Very good information.
not in their lifetime.
But so like, again, we're planning on using,
Well, what would be appropriate for this addition? That's the question.
It's new construction.
it is new construction.
Are you going to have casing and all those things? You're going to keep the casing around the
Correct,
replacement windows?
it'll be all 4x4,
Right.
4-inch casing.
Right,
I'm gonna make them, I'm gonna dress them in like
Yeah.
the old windows, but these are full insulated,
Yeah.
Mhm.
new windows. And for them, in terms of maintenance, if we did it in white cladding, that's simplest for them. They don't have to maintain them anymore.
I'm just not sure, because I haven't looked at clad windows. We've seen a lot of composite material, fiberglass composite.
Fiberglass?
And I haven't looked at any clad windows recently. but the cladding, just by its nature, it's not a solid material. And wood windows aren't solid, but they're joined with glue and waterproof glue. And I'm just worried about water penetrating through this, whatever the seal is on the vinyl, because when you come to a corner, you have to fit all the pieces together,
There's
and
nothing
they
you
don't
can do about
always.
that.
Well,
And they don't
actually,
always-
they do. The vinyl windows that I'm seeing, those seams are kind of welded somehow, I'm not sure.
No, they might be heat welded,
Yeah, so,
which they didn't
so
used to do.
they're sealed up. I mean, so you're not seeing laps and open joints like that in cladding from what I'm seeing lately. I mean, if I were to come and I'm submitting for this for approval and I'm looking for the windows and all that, what would you like to see in terms of information so that you could feel comfortable approving the windows?
Don't bring the whole manufacturer's
Please.
book of all the possible windows you could ever have.
Well, that's-
Just bring copies of the exact window you're
Germane.
going
And
to
this,
bring.
and this is what I intended to submit.
Okay, but this is not,
That's the wood, just the
to me,
wood, right?
Let's go
to
back
me,
to,
but to me, I'll show you, to me,
Okay,
what is, in my opinion, appropriate to bring. So out of all these sheets, we don't need to see
Cross-section.
details.
okay.
We don't need to see glossy pictures of what's
No
going on
advertising.
like
in
the
some other
previous one, there's just too
installation.
much information, all this stuff, we don't care, that's.
Yeah, that's unnecessary. And you only need 2 sheets if you're using 2 different types of windows.
Yep,
And then specifically circle which windows
sure,
you're proposing.
okay,
Because all this is just trees getting cut down.
okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
Copy,
it
love
actually
it.
came, I mean, they sent me the
Oh, they
PDF for the
send-
whole thing, and I.
Oh, yeah.
and I-
They send you
No,
every
you don't.
world.
Oh, no.
And if you're going to do any grills or anything like that, they're showing on this page, so indicate which, well, these 2 pages, but this, you don't need to bring this one unless you're gonna use grills.
Yeah, they are going to use grills. The
Okay.
original house has 6/1s on the first floor, 1/1s on the second, where our
Oh,
intention would be to
no,
go.
send the other guys.
6/1, yeah.
So we go 6/1 on the first floor and just 1/1s on the second?
Yeah, that's so odd to
And
me.
on that comment, with everything that's on this house is very symmetrical. The addition on this drawing right here, the windows on this part right here,
Mm-hmm.
they should be centered most likely, or that should be, or match this gable with 2-1, 2-1. Excuse me, I'm looking at it upside down. 1 and over 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. This cross-section that they're off-centered is not how the rest of the house is very symmetrical. Especially, even you did a great job on the new rear of the house, but this specifically should be either over
I mean,
the
it's-
top or something
I mean,
better than that.
Excuse me, are you speaking about this, or,
Nope,
oh, this?
that.
This,
You see
yeah.
where that window placement's
Yep.
proposed?
okay.
Good.
And then just in terms of siding,
There you go.
how do you feel about hardy board? If it's in the same size as the rest of the house, is hardy acceptable? It's certainly durable and holds paint like there's no
It
tomorrow.
does.
It's been approved.
Yeah.
I have personal issues with it, a variety of them. Some of them are aesthetic. Regular clapboard siding is tapered. Hardy board is not always. I don't know if you can get tapered.
You can get tapered.
Or not.
The thing that the one thing about the tapered is generally it's got a texture to it. And so if you're looking for smooth,
No, you want,
Texture.
no, we don't want texture.
No, but-
Wood does not show a texture unless it's exceptionally worn.
right,
So a good piece of wood painted is smooth.
right. So if you do it right, I can put everything, you got to start with a starter course, it kicks the bottom edge out. And then after that, they all come, even though it's not tapered, I can make it look like it was tapered. Just because you throw the right starter on it, so they all
Right.
come in at an angle.
No, I get that. The other-
So, that, I mean, that's what we would like to use. if
Do they
that would
get
be
brittle
acceptable.
on you at all in cold weather?
I'm sorry?
They get brittle?
I'm not going to do it, I'm not going to cite it in the wintertime.
No,
You know,
I'm just curious, yeah, all right.
I haven't had that experience, but I'm generally not doing it in the winter.
Well, I would just say, just for the board's information and not, and Hardy Board has been approved by the Preservation Board here and all over the country. Preservation boards are approving Hardy Board or similar cement board sidings.
Yep.
Here's my concern about them. They are cement. Cement contains silica. Silicosis is just like asbestosis. So there are safety concerns, and for you probably not, but for workers who are
Well,
cutting
actually, I do the work.
hardy board.
Yeah, so we're-
Okay, there you go.
Okay, we're talking.
There's safety gear, you know, respirators, all that stuff for safety, and it does deteriorate. It's the parent company of Hardy, I'm blanking on the name, whatever their name is.
Gypsum, USG?
No. They've had class action suits because of deterioration of the product. If the spacing on the boards is as they go across a line of siding, the spacing between the two boards is very important. And if moisture gets in there, then it starts to fall apart and crumble. My personal concern about hardy board, which I don't think can be applied to our board, but my personal concern is that this is going to end up being like asbestos siding. It's the same issue. It's a fiber, very small fiber product.
The difference between the two is asbestos is so light that it stays airborne for an extended period of time. A little bit different than silica. I came out of the commercial industry, worked for Pike and Welliver and all those kind of jazz. We all have to go through the silica thing. Standard all went through. Everybody's in respirators. All my guys have respirators. I'm a residential contractor. I largely adhere to commercial safety standards just because that's the world I came from.
Yeah.
So, you know, I understand.
It's not an issue that this board can take up. I'm just putting the issue out there.
But my comment will be is if the owners of the house are actually interested in historic preservation, then they should go with wood.
Then wood would be the product.
Wood clapboard boards.
It's always a balance between performance, maintenance,
And
cost.
and cost. And without, not trying to be glib in any way, we want the addition to be different. It's not the old building, right? It's not the same thing. We want a distinction. We wanted to define it, so therefore.
That's where my comment about the roof
Yeah.
pipe is.
But give them the wood option.
Sure.
I think first.
I can. Obviously Cedar has gotten crazy expensive, like everything's gotten crazy expensive, trying to fit into the realm of somebody's budget.
Anything else to,
Just my land, and I don't mean to take up your time, and I appreciate all your time. Back door, half light, doesn't really match anything historically, but I intend to just put a wood 3.0 half light door in the back. There wouldn't be any issue with that, correct?
you said,
I
Do you
don't
have a picture of
have
it,
an
or-
issue with a half-light back door. I had a half-light back door in my house in the village, and it was original.
Okay.
So it's,
All right. I haven't submitted that yet, but I'm trying to anticipate.
good for you.
I don't want to come to the next meeting with having missed a bunch of stuff that is going to be important to you.
I
No,
think
this
wood
is-
across the board would be the thing that I would say, like that would be for the windows, for the door, for the siding, honestly.
Convey that on to the owners, that's all you can do.
One of the, in our training that Jeff and I were on, and this is about additions on historical homes, and it's on page 34 here, and you can look it up is this on the website for everyone to look
yes,
at?
it is.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, it is.
It says, do not introduce a new architectural style or too closely mimic the style of the existing building. It's balance,
Yep.
You don't want it to look like it had been there forever, but don't introduce anything, take that for however you want.
I
But
understand.
it's a tough balance to not make it look like it's been there forever, or that it's like, wow, that's clearly an addition.
Understood.
I appreciate your coming in. It's, to me, coming in is a very important step in the process if you're doing anything that's of any size or significance at all. It just saves time and money.
Yeah.
And in fact, I would, as an architect, I would never suggest that anybody come with drawings that are that fully developed. Yeah, without coming for information. Because,
I had some idea of what the requirements would be.
yes, good.
I earned my gray
Now
hair.
you've got yourself focused on that, yeah.
So,
By the way, I've had brittle hardy board that I've had to deal with.
okay.
Odd, but anyway.
I will definitely, I mean, I'll take your advice. I'll suggest it to the owners and see what they have to say.
Page 34, sign guidelines in the village.
You just
I
go to
think,
the
didn't that
website.
come with the, didn't that, you give that to me with the application? Because I do remember that verbiage.
Yeah, it's interesting, hard to understand.
Yeah. Okay, great.
All right.
Thank you very much for your time.
All right, good. The last item we have the minutes from
Next thing will be December 7th.
November 1st,
Special meeting.
special meeting. Everybody have a chance to go
Three
through
of
that?
us there.
Yeah,
I'm
That's
sorry, I don't
correct.
remember if we
No.
were there.
I was there.
Okay, then there are enough of us who were there who can
Yeah, there were 4 of us there. Yep.
can approve the minutes.
I read through them, I had no
I have no
issue.
comments or changes.
I know comment, no comment.
I wasn't there, so you all have to.
Okay, all right.
I make a motion to approve the minutes as provided.
Second,
Good.
Member Searle,
Yes.
Member Olson,
Yes.
Chair Pollak,
yes.
motion passes.
Okay. And I make a motion that
Want to do
we,
anything about this?
No, I'm going to put it on next month's agenda, so.
Okay.
if-
information, we can study it.
Yeah, review it, see if there's if I made any mistakes, or if
I noted that you
There
moved
was
the
a
February
video.
meeting, it's
It
not,
was a video
which is
training,
preferable.
and it was recorded.
It's
So
because
we-
it's President's Day weekend, that is the school break,
It was
so
real-
it's,
for-
yes.
For someone like me. it was
So you
really,
caught that one,
really
thank you.
informational.
But
I
you
make
did
a
not go to
motion,
the
we
Landmark Society training
terminate the meeting.
in September.
I second.
No.
Okay.
No, I didn't do that.
No,
Awfully hard.
I don't need any
It
more.
was.
I'm a trainer.
Member Searle,
Yes,
Yes.
Member Evans,
Yes.
Member Olson,
Yes.
Chair Pollak,
yes.
motion passes.
Thank you, everybody.